Hi, my name is Michaela Block, and this is my Tech Demo 2 on exit tickets as formative assessments. So after reading the case study, I decided to go with Kahoot. I wanted to go with Kahoot for a multitude of different reasons. These are just some reasons why I really like Kahoot. I think it's very engaging. Kahoot is made to be super interactive and engaging for the students. They get to actively participate in answering questions alongside of their classmates, and I also just really like how you can choose to keep the students' results anonymous. You can use a fake name or even just numbers, whatever you choose. It gives immediate feedback. So Kahoot will give the students feedback immediately, which allows them to see if they got the answer correct or not. And this not only helps the teachers, but it also lets the students know what their strengths and their weaknesses are right away and what would be super beneficial for them to work on. I also like the data analysis aspect of it. Kahoot will provide valuable data to the teachers after each game that is played. This can include things like individual results and responses, overall class results and responses, as well as areas of strengths and weaknesses for the class. And this is just great information for the teacher to be able to modify their lesson accordingly for the following days. It's also very accessible. You can use Kahoot from a laptop, a tablet, a phone, and this just makes it really easy for teachers and students to access this learning aid from just about anywhere, including remote learning in a instance like a snow day where a teacher is in a different location than the students. You can still use Kahoot. It also just shows them that learning can be fun. So Kahoot makes learning just a fun challenge against their friends in a game where they have the opportunity to earn points or get up on a leaderboard and much more. And this just makes learning much more enjoyable, fun, and exciting for the students, and that causes them to stay focused better, and it just makes them want to learn more. So these are the 3 goals that in the case study Mrs. Smith had, and I am going to touch on those topics here in the next slide. So for goal number 1, she wanted to be able to read students' responses and use that info to help finalize plans for the next day's lessons. Kahoot gives the opportunity to see each individual student's responses, and it'll also help you collect the data, or it'll collect data for you, which just eliminates the need to take the time to do it yourself. I am going to show you how I personally have used this before. So if you take a look here, this is my Kahoot page. I'm not going to go through how to make a Kahoot. I'm just going to show you my reports. So if you go over to the sidebar here and you click on reports, right here will show you all the different reports from live games that you have played. I've only done one as a demo, so I'm going to show that one. And it'll show you, this would be the percent that's correct for the whole entire class. But you can also go over here and click on players and see each individual player. I only had 2 playing, so it would show you. So for example, this student would have got all of them correct. It even shows you the time it took and the points that they got in the answers. And then for this person, as you can see, it would tell you that they got question number 3 incorrect, tells you what they chose for it, how long it took them to pick the answer, and just a lot of good information there. And then you can also see the questions as a whole here and which ones that as a whole class they got missed the most. So since I only had 2 people and 1 person missed it, it would say half the class got it wrong, half the class got it right. And this would be super beneficial when it comes to planning your lessons for the following days, because you would know exactly what the students were missing the most often and what would be the best to go over and touch on again. And then it just makes it so much easier to collect the data that you need because it's doing it all for you. And like I said, it'll make modifying your lessons for the following day so much easier and less time consuming. And you'll also know which individual students might need extra one-on-one time or review of the lesson based on what they missed. So the second goal that the case study had was to track how individual students in the class as a whole have grown in their understanding. Like I stated for goal number 1, it just makes looking at the results and data for both the individual and group performance super easy. One way to track your growth is if you play the Kahoot more than once and you keep on reviewing the concepts, it'll show you the improvement that the class has made or the individuals from one time to the next. And I think that's just very, very helpful. That would show it right up here once you're in your reports and you click on what you want to do. Right here is where it would show you the improvement. And also in the players and as such too. I can't show that because I only have it one time, but it would pop up right here and you would be able to look at the different times that you have played the Kahoot and the improvement from it. And that is just super, super helpful. And this teacher also showed a concern for the students not wanting to write a lot on their exit ticket simply because they didn't feel like writing. Well, with Kahoot, you would eliminate that issue completely because you give the students an answer to choose from and all they have to do is click it. They don't have to worry about writing anything. So you wouldn't have to worry about them not trying on their exit ticket just because they didn't want to write. Goal number 3 was to give students feedback to the individual students about how well they are actually understanding each lesson so that the student knows what they have successfully learned and what they need more to work on more. Well, not only does Kahoot give the students feedback right away, but also shows them how they are answering compared to the rest of the class. So it makes it easier to give feedback to your individual students. And it just allows us, whenever we're giving that feedback to them, it's much easier because all the data is right there. It saves so much time in one area, like how on here I also have stated that there's no need to sort through hundreds of paper exit tickets at the end of the week. That was another concern that they showed. We save so much time doing that we can focus our time and energy into answering the other important areas, such as the feedback that we're giving to the students. And Kahoot also saves so much time sorting those papers because obviously it does it all for you. You're not manually having to sort through all those pieces of paper at the end of the week. So it's just a very, very big time saver. And yes, so overall, I think that Kahoot is an excellent choice as a formative assessment tool, and it would be much more efficient than your typical paper exit slip. And I think the students and the teacher all around would benefit a lot from using Kahoot.